Felt ill from your kiss. I got drunk off your demons. One sipping, I'm lovesick. Built a home, turned to ruins. Followed you into the night. Couldn't let you leave, watch you leave on. Nothing left, come daylight. Come daylight. You played with my head, guilt free in my bed. So used to being forsaken, go down my own now. Feels like home in our ruins. Followed you into the night. Couldn't let you leave, watch you leave on. Nothing left, come daylight. Come daylight. Come with me.
wanna see you, but you fall apart. Even though you told me to get back your heart, I still spin inside your orbit. Yeah. You say that I should probably start to walk away. I'm hoping that you stop and make me have to stay, 'cause I'm floating in your orbit. Yeah, I'm stuck in your space. Just my luck, push me away. You understand? There's nothing left to say. Pull me back, take my hand, call my name. You understand? I wanna stay, 'cause I don't wanna walk away. 'Cause I don't wanna walk away. 'Cause I don't wanna walk away. Yeah, I'm stuck in your space. Just my luck, push me away. You understand? There's nothing left to say. Pull me back, take my hand, I wanna leave. You understand? I wanna stay. 'Cause I don't wanna walk away. I wanna see you, but you fall apart. Even though you told me to get back your heart, still spinning inside your orbit. I should probably start to walk away. I'm hoping that you stop and make me have to stay, 'cause I'm floating in your orbit. Pull me back, take my hand, call my name. You understand? I wanna stay, 'cause I don't wanna walk away. Yeah, I'm stuck in your space. Just my luck, push me away. You understand? There's nothing left to say. Pull me back, take my hand, I wanna leave. You understand? I wanna stay, 'cause I don't wanna walk away. 'Cause I don't wanna walk away. Pull me back, take my hand, call my name. You understand? I wanna stay, 'cause I don't wanna walk away. Cause I don't wanna walk away. Cause I don't wanna walk away.
Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the PUBG Singapore Malaysia series. I'm playing my co-caster for this awesome event, other than Contra, Harry Man, and welcome to the show as well.
Well, I'm feeling very excited what's about to come because we're finally in the grand finals of the PUBG Singapore series. So, of course, a long while since we've been here together to be casting all these matches to come, and this is just there's going to be a whole lot more before we get towards all these green games for all the. Of course, we'll check out how's this guy going to be like, and of course, we'll jump right into actions afterwards. Of course, big thanks to fans, cause and effect, and of course, PUBG Corporation, as we're coming to you live on the PlayerUnknown's Battleground Facebook page. Make sure you guys follow throughout the journey right here. So, Jay, I know you're stoked for this one as well. It's been a while since we catch some action coming from the Malaysian Singapore side. What are you expecting for today?
Well, it has been a while indeed, but I am looking forward to getting stuck into the action. And it's going to be a grueling affair, I believe, for all teams looking to try and clinch that spot for PCS2 APAC. And of course, that is going to be quite the Southeast Asia representation from this region. I'm sure everyone is itching to grab that spot. And there has been quite a bit of action so far in all the qualifiers that have taken place over the course of last week. And we managed to have our top 16 teams here. So you saw there in the trailer, we got quite a number of teams looking forward to seeing how they're going to be doing. Some familiar faces, and yet there are still going to be some new challengers to the table. And does any of them stand out to you in particular, Contra, that you think is going to make quite an impact this week?
Well, I'm excited to see what some of these teams will bring to the table, especially for battleground elites. They've been a household name from the Malaysian scene, and also teams like PMA, Vitas, FFG, because there's been a little bit of that roster shuffle going on in between each and every single tournament. And of course, not forgetting names like 24K Esports and also CGM Wolf, because these guys will be chasing their way. But I can't put my hands on who's going to be the top of the region.
Yeah, well, I think it's going to be very difficult to predict. I mean, at the end of the day, it'd be PUBG, and it's a very grueling affair, as I was saying, because we, of course, have got play days every single day of this week starting today. So that does mean that it has to play quite a number of rounds. We're going to be having 5 per day, so at the end of it, 30 rounds play. That is unbelievable. It's going to be very testing for all these teams. We just talk about consistency in PUBG, give you a battle royale, but it's going to be more testing here, And you see that with maybe in the past, where I think in the PUBG C series, the various competitive side start the year, the Malaysia Singaporeans only had 6 rounds, so they really formed on the day. But here, I think it's going to be a little bit more of a good paced marathon sprint.
Yeah, I'd say that it's all about themselves pretty much control the entirety of the run. You don't exhaust all of your in a particular day, because so many days of matches played out. This is going to be the first 5 will be played out for today. We'll be which maps they'll be playing on much on, and of course the prize pool of the PUBG Singapore and Malaysia series. So make sure you're watching back at home to be sharing all across those platforms. Of course, put in your top who's going to be able to get that third from dinner of the day. So we've seen a little bit of that sort of the interesting stuff that happened in those groups, and of course we finally get ourselves some of the top teams out of A as well as Group B. So I'm sure that you do have maybe a couple of thoughts to share with us on what to expect from certain teams that we'll be playing for today.
Well, absolutely. I think, some of these guys, they're going to know each other too well to a certain extent. Now, of course, we talk about how every tournament is definitely going to be its own little meta and everything because of the combination of teams. Now, they've had the chance to play against each other. Well, qualifies to a certain extent, but only top eight makes out of each group. Of course, from Group A, we did see the top three finishers there being Battle Arena Elites by Country Mile, Team Height, and then followed up by CGM Wolf. Whereas for Group B is going to be the top three qualifiers or top three leaders qualifying in the form of PMA, Vitesse, FFG, KXS. So again, the names that I think you mentioned, Contra, should be able to see some good performances coming up from them. But I'm not going to put one else, at a bit of a disadvantage because as we know, can rise like cream. So these teams, they've also a little bit of familiarity. I think yesterday they practiced scrims, if I'm not mistaken.
Oh, yes, indeed. And they might have actually found some of these police off their runs. You know, the very first game of the day probably will be a round of tatters where you might even see some team dropping in towards the same contest. So, are you looking at any particular tops or specific areas that you'd like to see those battle commence?
Well, of course, I think we would all love to see these early altercations, marking one's territory at the start. I mean, I don't mind any in particular, but it's definitely interesting, these kind of fights. I mean, like some teams, they have favorite spots here, and there's a preferred spot, but it could be in other teams as well. Since we got such a long tournament, it's more important to kind of like carve out spaces for your own team purposes into the latest, right? So, who's going to necessarily clash every tournament? The teams tend to check their drop zones, but could be a big thing here on that front.
Yeah, and of course, it matters for teams to really get themselves well adapted to the environment, and of course, the tempo of the game as well. We'll be playing on the rules as usual. It's down to our official terms for known battlegrounds, and we'll be seeing our very first really hitting in a couple more minutes. So as we get ourselves ready, we'll be talking about some of all these as well as the schedule for the rest of the day. Before that, we really gotta put out some of these names that have been around the scene from both Singapore as well as Malaysia. It seems to be that Batman has found himself a new home in the form of TR.
That's quite right, and just for anyone who's living under a rock, Batman and one Team Rejects as well, the M0. Now they were both Battle Arena elites, but unfortunately they have been replaced. Roster Sophia back from Taiwan, who with Gex, but of course originally came from Arena Elites in the first place, and that's also of course. Like to take a look here, ladies and gentlemen, at the five matches will be starting on Erangel. We move over to the Mingman for another two matches.
All right, I'm pretty sure they know at the back of their hands as will be for his 3 rounds to be played out and move on in towards the Desert Dunes. I'm liking what I'm seeing here, and some of the other tournaments we do see, and some teams raking it all the way out. And a small map, it will be a whole lot more sort of clash going on entirety from start. Erangel is going to be pretty much for all of them. So, really interested to see how the flight path of the circle will be treating them. Of course, will be who will be able to get that very first chicken dinner.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, unfortunately, we don't have a lot of Sanhok at the moment. We have to wait for everyone to advertise themselves properly to the work that's happened. So, of course, we are going to make changes as the days progress, seeing that going to be alternating 3 matches on Erangel and Miramar. So we'll be able to get a good spread of these. Hopefully by next competitive cycle, we're going to be the new Hawk come in, and always made for some fantastic games we managed to cast together during this Super Cup and also the Showdown, if not mistaken.
And of course, there's going to be a on the line for all these on board, a total of $1,000 prize. And as for the rulings, as on your screen right now, 10 points for LP, 6 points from second place, all the way down to 8th. And any points. This is where the kill points really matter, and you can also see the over for the rest of the days that will come by. We'll be starting off with Tree, Miramar, and of course a pretty much balanced way to throughout the entirety of the run to its day 6.
And 10,000 US at stake here at the Singapore meets. That is a huge amount of money. Everyone's going to be gunning for to be that represent for the region when it comes to PCS, as it's just going to be around the corner, and we're at the Asia Pacific level. That would be quite the. Unfortunately, at PCS one, we didn't have representatives from Malaysia and Singapore. The qualifier combined together with Philippines and Bamut Gaming, who came out on top of that. But let's see how things are going to be different. It's going to be represent region in this prestigious.
That's right, and so I really do hope that throughout these months they have been prepared for this. So this is going to be the team for the rest of the running off. We have Ballerina Leads, Honey, Vitas, Team Max, CGM Wolf, the Rejects, SFFG. What do we have for the...
And we have 24 Tactical Raid, 51 Revive Team, Esports, and Cryptid will be competing as your top 16 team. The grand finals here at the Singapore Series, and it is going to be absolutely, can't really pin it down. Of course, we did some of the big names here, but I do have plenty of opportunities on the 6 days here to see some great results coming out from all of these teams.
And I'm really looking forward to see of these new names on the table to outshine some of the, well, if there's any chance, the grand finals itself, the battlefield that they'll be. And, you know, names like VMAX, we may not have been with them all too much, but towards the action to let all the action do. And remember, to all your favorite teams out there, definitely have a little bit of time game to pop in, as well as follow button into events, as well as those battlegrounds, as you can every single moment with that out.
Yeah, honestly, I think we can see quite a lot of different kinds of playstyles coming out the gates. Since it's 30, there won't be as much pressure on these teams to, really come out with results at the start. So they might jostle for a lot of those early drop location, as we were talking about a little bit earlier, as really it will allow them to stir the pot. Everyone wants to get their feet as fast as possible, but it's not always going to be something that you can force, something that you're digging yourself substantial holes. So, of course, see a lot of well-practiced routines from some of the Ballerina Elites is always one of those teams. We can notice that they have a very just phase 1 rotation strategy, which is very and early as we do see it. But the roster changes, we'll see if the amount has changed a little bit here. But I think it's something that we can definitely right from the get-go.
And of course, they still have their staple names like Neverhorror to be leading the entire team. Of course, team having so many years of experience built, that will possibly Battle Arena leads a little bit of the edge. And same goes to others as well. We do have quite a number of events coming in for PMA. I'm really expecting them to really put up quite some numbers head in towards our first first round for today. So teams like Kuhara, we've seen that a number of times as well in local competitive scene or even in the regional ones. So let's have some of the top fraggers as well coming into the Pub Singapore and Malaysia series.
And looking at this flood hitting the wave together with Sophia, trying to beat each other's records, 9 kills apiece. That's quite the achievement already, And we're going to have 39 kills here. Team Hype is going to be on Verbs. I'm sorry if I'm actually butchering your name. And the PMA's Miracle, who is going to have 39 kills, and Bios2 from 24K is going to 37 frags. So it's quite a total for all these. I think it's very telling that we're seeing presentation coming out here from BA. They're definitely looking to really put icing on the cake here if they can in any of these rounds.
That's right, and I'm really looking to see whether or not will the table have any sort of changes coming in towards the finals, because every single 16 teams are on that title, and well, the best one will survive. For Bio 62, we've seen some amazing, even in the previous competitions that we've seen him, and I would say that they are a big team that looked out for. Well, Aska, he's been playing in the global stages all the time. Can he get all the way back up for the PCS?
Absolutely, and yeah, look at that, Sophia. It's not. He did actually go all to California to play at PUBG Global Championships. So did have Malaysian representation there. So really pleased that. But of course, anything can help because now things have along a little bit here. Just ignore the top fraggers over there. But only we could get 99 frags as well. Happy to get one in the competitive setting. But yeah, I think like looking at the stage now, it's of course the grand. We might not be able to see as high of a goal, but of course everyone will still need to do the best they can. And of course, we did see the format, the super rules. For every kill and for chicken dinner, it means that yes, of course, you can get some kills to supplement your place, but more often than not, you have to get good circle position, sure that you can sustain into the later, and the kills will come naturally.
Yeah, exactly that, and of course, I'm pretty sure that it's difficult to get that 99K mark, but of course some of these teams eventually hit somewhere towards that point, because we got about we got 6 of games to be played out entirety of the run, and then we'll see who will possibly as the best SG for sure. So who will be the ones to get quite a number of frags, but could not do it by the end of it all. And we look familiar faces once again. It's been a switch of places. Flood Sophia still tops the table. 45 knocks. Of course, 41 for Sophia. That's a number for Ballerina Leads.
Yeah, this is all crazy. Exactly as you said, there's just been a little swapping of positions here, but I think no coincidence, as it does mean that these guys are they are going to be able to what they started, and they're not. I mean, of course, there is the concept of stealing in PUBG, but you can see that's definitely not the key of this kind of performance. Just balls to the wall, and hopefully we can see more. And just to give you a measure of how many kills guys managed to get, let's take for example the Group A and B qualifiers. 15 matches played. And you got 30 matches here, the grand finals. At least they managed 150 kills. That is astounding. Of course, Flood and Sophia getting substantially with that. Triple digits here with 131 kills in the qualifiers. Height also coming in third in terms of kills with 119. These are absolutely astronomical numbers. I can't wait to see more.
That's absolutely absurd. Like I can't even secure more than 5 kills per game. Like these guys are absolutely topping it off all the way. So of course, with that being said, we will possibly be seeing some really aggressive plays coming from BAE, Bio62, and the rest of the teams that will be coming across, especially for Team Hype as well as PMA. And we'll see whether or not will there be even new names joining onto this table eventually. But as for now, these are the results coming in from the groups, and later on we'll probably put all the numbers back on towards the table for you guys to really check out on. So, other than that, is there any teams that you felt like was to these qualifier runs that you wish to see them play in the regional levels?
Well, I think I think that applies to a number of the teams just because maybe they've not had the opportunity. Especially for Malaysia and Singapore, there's just not slots available to qualify for Southeast Asia level. So it's very, very competitive, you know. And sometimes we get a lot of talent appearing here that unfortunately is not able to appear at level. And even if they do qualify to that, it's a very different game. It's something that definitely you have to have a little more of the experience there. So I'm thinking, yeah, we have a lot of teams. I would say the majority are participating that maybe have not been able to demonstrate what we have at that level. You know. This, you know, and
has been extremely competitive in the Southeast Asian circuit because so many big names, but only if would be able to represent the region in the national stages right there. As for teams like FFG, there's still quite a certain number of names that some of you guys are familiar with. So from what I heard, Xavier, who should be in Battle Arena leads back, he will also be playing for today. And I've recently met him, and he's been also doing some coaching recently with some upcoming teams out there, and it's see that they have been occupying them not only with the usual scrims and trainings, sometimes also a little bit extra on goal.
yeah, it's absolutely encouraging to see all of the additional effort put out by the long team pros there, and of course, you know, we'll see them cycle back in, you know, for their shot at the game as well, is exemplified by some of the teams that we have here, and I guess like some of that. Reprocessing of the players into different, you know, I mean, it's been happening for some time. Let's take CGM Wolf for example. They're a team that came out from the start of the year, but they are formed with a number of friends that we tend to see coming out from Red Sea, Kang, FTY, and even the Face Gaming as well. So guys have been around the block, and again, it's this where they feature these old pros, and now they have to try and you know, gel together as best as they in this short amount of time. You know? And it's not an easy thing, and some rosters are going to be changing more frequently than others. I think about the Battle Arena Elites, for example. But let's look at the top survivors.
Well, and the top survivor for the tournament, so it's going to be Mellow One coming from